I freaking hate this thing, bro. Excuse me. My mouse, I'm actually gonna break it. But we're reacting to Are We Loki Going Deaf? Let's see.
Yes. I'm answering the title. The answer is yes. Should you be worried? Also, yes. It's bad, man. According to the NIH, nearly 1 in 5 young people show signs of noise-induced hearing loss. This figure is from 2005, 20 years ago, before the invention of AirPods. This year, the World Health Organization says that 1 billion young adults are at risk of, quote, permanent, avoidable hearing loss. And
Sorry? Oh, this better not be me, bro, because me... Wait, God forbid, man. God forbid.
According to the CDC, half of young people listen to music too loudly. Now, if you ask me, all of that doesn't sound too good. Yes! That was a perfect joke! I wrote that. That was an original. So why exactly are we doing this to ourselves? How are we supposed to stop? And you know, if you think about it, is it really that bad? Yes, it is so bad. I had to put on a lab coat for this because things are about to get technical. Make sure your sources are in MLA format, kids. We're about to get peer reviewed. This is an ear. And if we examine it closer, these are what are known as hair cells. See, sound waves cause those bad boys to vibrate, and then our brain uses the vibrations to interpret sound. A beautiful system. But what goes wrong so that we stop hearing things all of a sudden? That's a fantastic question, and honestly, it's rather simple. According to the article from the 2017 journal Seminars in Hearing, when the hair cells are overworked, the mitochondria which phosphorylate adenosine diphosphate to adenosine triphosphate to provide energy to the cells become inefficient and release free radicals, reactive oxygen species, which are generated as part of a phosphorylation process. These charged molecules react with cells, membranes, and DNA in the cochlea, which damages and may lead to cell death. You know, pretty standard stuff. Now, right about now, you may be asking, well, David, what on earth does any of that mean? Do you even know? Well, of course I do, silly. I know exactly what that means. But if you're going to twist my arm and force me to explain it in layman's terms. Basically, hair cells in your ear are like grass. You step on it once and it's gonna spring back up, but you step in the same spot over and over and over, or hey, just really hard one time, and they're not coming back up. That is your ear hair. Now, when you listen to music or any other type of noise, they get a little frazzled, but eventually they'll restore themselves. But when our hair cells are exposed to too much noise, they become overstimulated, meaning they become fatigued, meaning they stop responding to sounds. Now, oftentimes this will be temporary and hearing can be restored, but if we do not change our listening patterns and keep doing this over and over and over, the hairs will eventually stop recovering and straight up die.
That's actually scary, I won't even lie. Because I'm not gonna sit here and I'll be having my AirPods on full blast every single time. Like, for most of the day, which is low-key like, dang, I could be getting deaf, God forbid, though.
This isn't one of those things in the body where you can just be like, oh, my fault, I'll chill out. Can you go ahead and fix that for me? No, they don't heal. When it happens, that's it. They're done. You cannot fix it. This is your life now. The general rule of thumb is that 70 decibels or less won't cause any hearing damage. However, once you reach the 80 to 85 decibel range, it starts to get dangerous if listening to it for an extended period of time. The average pair of headphones maxes out at about 100 decibels, which is also like the average sound level of a nightclub. But hey, 100 isn't that far off from 80 to 85, so it's probably not that big a deal to listen to it for an hour or two, right? No, that's very bad. That's not how decibels work. Now I know what you're thinking. Man, I wish there was a cool guy in a lab coat who could explain the decibel system. And frankly, I'm offended it took you this long to ask. So here's something interesting. Forget decibels.
I didn't ask you that. Come on, bro. I did not even ask you. You're just forcing this information on me, bro.
But the actual unit used to measure sound is called bells. Bells measure sound intensity, and they do so on a logarithmic scale. Now, what does that mean? Well, simply put, 2 bells isn't twice as much as 1 bell, it's 10 times as much. Therefore, 3 bells is 100 times as much as 1 bell. Dang. So dear viewer, how many times would 4 bells be?
1,000.
That's right! 1,000 times! Muy bueno! And we don't like using decimals for
this. You're trying to make you sound like I'm stupid. Well, I don't even know the information, but just... I'm messing with it.
So instead of saying something is 8.5 bells, we typically measure sounds using tenths of a bell. A tenth of a bell. A decibel. bell. Do you see? It's coming together. Remember what we just learned about logarithmic scales. How much bigger is 30 decibels than 10 decibels? Yeah, it's right. It's 100. More bueno. Pop quiz. So let's go back to our original question. How much louder is 100 decibels than 80 decibels? It's 100 times. And according to the World Health Organization, you can listen to 80 decibels of sound for 40 hours a week before it becomes dangerous. At 100 decibels, 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
A week. And who goes to a nightclub or a concert for 20 minutes? Also, if you're listening to stuff on full blast on headphones all the time, you're cooked. And so getting back to the volume...
Oh my gosh, guys. I might be finished. I always see this message, bro. Oh my God, I might be cooked. I might be cooked. Oh shit.
Notification thing. It's designed to measure how loud you listen to stuff and also how long you listen to stuff at that volume, and kind of predict if over the course of a week you're doing it too much and could cause yourself hearing loss in the future. And if it does, it'll send you a little notification saying, hey, could you maybe not cause irreversible hearing damage to yourself for the rest of your life? And then we all get mad that they're trying to help us. So maybe we owe a certain trillion-dollar company an apology. We're gonna start listening to the notifications, turn that volume down, and start thinking about our long-term ear health. Sound good, everybody? Hey, thanks for all your help, Doc. Hey, all in a day's work. Yeah!
I guess I'll look in.
You know that's not how this ends, right? Like, of course not. You're not actually gonna do it.
He's never gonna do it. He's never gonna do it.
And allow me to be the first to say, I get it. I don't want to do it either. While I was doing the research for this video, the statistics and the stories did start to move me, you know? I started thinking about my long-term ear health and how I wanted to preserve my ability to hear sounds as long as possible. I mean, think of all the beautiful moments I could miss if I didn't take this seriously. I'd never be able to hear my future daughter's first laugh. I'd never again get to hear the soft bristle of trees blowing in the wind on a breezy fall day. I'd never get the chance to hear my future wife whisper, I love you to herself. She didn't think I heard her, but I did. I was determined.
I won't lie. That is low-key true. Like, we do not be thinking about the long run. And this video probably might change me.
To take my ear health into my own hands, to make sure I could hear all those beautiful sounds for as long as humanly possible. That wasn't until I went to the gym, realized how low 85 decibels actually sounds, said meh, and cranked that sucker as loud as it could go for the next 2 hours straight. Sorry, baby girl.
Yeah, that nigga fooled me, bro.
Dad's gotta hit a PR today. Like, I don't think a billion of us are at risk of losing our hearing because we don't know that loud sounds are bad for us. We know that, it's just a lot of us aren't gonna change. But why is that though? I think it comes down to two things. Technically, unless you're putting your ears right next to the barrel of a shotgun or you're standing directly in front of active fireworks, most sounds aren't intense enough to cause immediate deafness. Instead, they cause damage because you listen to them for too long. So, in theory, if you were to listen to all sound levels for the appropriate amount of time, you should be fine, but you don't and you'll never change. The most viewed piece of media I have ever created is literally a video talking about the fact that we all always have something going on in the background, whether it's music, videos like this, or literally anything. It is addictive because we always have something playing in our ears because silence is scary. So we'll always have something playing in the background, whether it's music, shows, or random people on the internet. And I'm pretty sure that's what you're doing right now. Listen, I know my audience and what you people come for. You come to hear me yell about whatever was interesting to me this week. Half of you just put me on for the noise and aren't even looking at the screen half the time. You know how I know that? Hey buddy, this is pre-recorded audio. I'm not actually talking right now. I'm eating an apple or something apple.
I won't lie. You did get me there.
Like if my house didn't have apples that day. And if you didn't notice until now, be honest, like the top comment, I'm really curious about these statistics. Am I trying too hard on these visuals? Because I put a lot.
Look at the cereal box.
A lot of time into it, and you people don't seem to care. Should I just switch to a podcast? You people don't care what's happening on screen. You don't care. You just come for my voice. You don't care. We have something playing in our ears at all times. I wake up and put headphones on. I listen to music while I'm in the car. I listen to music while I'm working. I'm listening to music right now. Well, not me. I'm not listening to music right now. I'm talking about the me who wrote this script in the past. Hi guys, it's me, past David. I'm the one who wrote the words that your current David is saying to you right now. I'm writing this script, and I'm also listening to music while I do it, and it's really good. I'm really good at writing scripts, and I also really like music. And hey, how cool is it that I can get this guy to say whatever I want? Look, I'll do it right now. He just did it. He just did it again. Man, I really have control over him and what he says and what he does, and there's nothing he can do about it. What's that you say? Hostage situation? Now, why would you say that? I'm not holding him in my basement. Why would you ask that? But even if I was, what's he gonna do about it? Ask for help? No. All he's allowed to do is say the words that I write for him, and he's happy about it.
I don't know, that's looking impressive. I promise if I was in this shit, I would have been stuttering like halfway through that shit, bro. That was looking impressive.
So yeah, I really like music. He's behind the camera. If we're not gonna adjust how long we listen to stuff, then the next and pretty much only other solution is to decrease the volume at which we listen to stuff. We could, but we won't. Which, honestly, why? Why is it that we enjoy music when it's louder? Well, there are a number of reasons, and one of them we've already covered. Distraction. Loud music can mask unpleasant feelings by drowning out all of our other senses. Like, it's a lot harder to focus on the fact that you just had a bad day when your brain is too focused on the fact that your ears are about to start bleeding. In connection with that, another reason we like loud sounds is simply because of how intense it is. When our intensity of senses is increased, our intensity of feeling increases to match. And this is certainly the case for a lot of our other senses. For example, is plain boiled chicken going to kill you, or are drab photos on Instagram going to make you cry? No, but let's live a little, people. So yeah, I guess we could listen to music at a modest 70 decibels, but that's not gonna give you the motivation you need to clean your house, do your homework, or go to the gym. Forget ear safety, let's pump it up, people, yeah! And also, obviously, when music is louder, you can hear it better and appreciate the finer details and the little things. For me, I find myself doing this the most whenever I find a song that I immediately fall in love with and play on repeat constantly. Like when I first heard one of the greatest songs ever composed in the 21st century, He Won't Hold You by Jacob Collier, listen to it from start to finish and tell me otherwise. When I first heard it, it changed my life. I listened to it every day on repeat, nonstop for like a month. I listened to it while I was sleeping, while I was driving, while I was eating, while I was working out, and of course, while I was writing this amazing and award-winning script. Thank you, past David. You're welcome, present David. Please help me. The more I listened to it, the more I wanted to appreciate its finer details and its little things. I wanted every part of the song to be etched into my brain. What's the easiest way to do that? So listen to it at max volume from start to finish and worry about the hearing damage later. It's a good way of life. It's not, no. Also, not to sound too much like an indie movie, but music really is the soundtrack of our lives. It can make any drab moment interesting, and it can make us feel like we're in our own movie. And I, for sure, do this every time I listen to music, to the point where it's almost concerning, because I'll be like in a grocery store, thinking I'm the only one in the world. I'm not, but I'll definitely act like I am. Like, imagine we're in a public setting, you turn around and you just see me going like...
Even in the gym, everything, you kind of like have to, well, like, you just pretend like, no matter what, when the music is playing, you just pretend like you're just the only one there trying to aura farm, bro. And niggas can't even lie. Be like, oh, I don't do that. Nigga, you do, bro. Stop lying.
It's a problem. I can't stop it though. It's really fun. But as far as loud sounds go, it really only gets worse when it comes to public venues. Like take clubs, for example. Clubs in particular play very loud music almost all the time, so I have heard. Why is that? One reason could be is that it serves as a sort of free advertising. You see, loud music are to clubs what fresh baked pastries are to bakeries. You let the smell of fresh bread pour into the streets and the people will come. Likewise, if you let the sweet melodious sound of 2009 Pitbull blast through a neighborhood at sound levels that should not be legal, the people who make bad decisions will come to you. And once you're inside, the loud music isn't gonna stop because it serves a number of purposes. It serves as a social lubricant. Apparently men buy drinks more when the music is louder, and also it allows you to have private conversations even though you are surrounded by 50 people at all times. But most importantly, and also most conundrum me, is that you associate loud music with good times. Because you're like, woo, we're at the club, I'm gonna get my swerve on, woo! Can you tell I've never been to one? But is it that we naturally just find loud music more fun? Or is it that every place we have fun, the music just so happens to be turned up loud? Like hypothetically, if you could leave a party without a concerning ringing in your ear, do you really think you would have that much of a worse experience? Look, whatever the reason may be, people associate loud music and sounds with fun. And so if your brain attaches good times to this bad practice, it's going to enable you to continue that bad practice. And therefore, it reinforces the behavior and you're more likely to do it again and again and again and again and again and again. And then one day there's gonna be like this really weird ringing in your ear that you think is weird, you think might go away. It's not going to though. And that might be concerning, but that might be
Bro, I be having them rings from time to time. That's why I kind of like am a bit scared at sometimes. But I've looked, like I haven't gone in a minute, but back then when I used to music in my ear every minute, I'll be chilling. Even when I'm streaming sometimes, I'll start hearing like the ringing noise. That one ringing noise I just played, like it's scary. But I kind of chilled out on it, so I don't hear it as much anymore. But man, that kind of scared me for a bit. I thought I was finished, bro.
We've been joking around a lot and it's been fun for me, but to be honest, this is kind of a problem because we may not realize it often, but sound plays such an important and influential part in our lives. There was this clip I found from Hans Zimmer where he was talking about a movie he was working on, and he was talking with a bunch of the higher-ups about a scene that wasn't working or the story just wasn't conveying the right emotions. It wasn't right, but they were able to fix it with one thing. They turned the volume up.
We put it back to where we were 3 months earlier, turned the music up a little bit, and I literally got a phone call from the head of the studio going, so what happened? You know, why are those shots that were meaningless to me now suddenly have a context, have an emotional resonance? I'm going, well, we got the balance right.
I am one of those people that believes that sound is more important in storytelling than visuals are. Because if you were to close your eyes right now, I could still paint a picture for you. And the way I would manipulate my voice and play different characters and do sound effects, that would make it real. You can make a lot work with a beautifully edited audio track, more so than I think you could with any blockbuster put on silent. Sound is really important. So it really sucks that there's so many things around us trying to take that away from us. It's not just the noise that you voluntarily pump into your head, it's the noises that are all around you that you can't stop. Traffic, trains passing, restaurants, bars, neighbors mowing their lawns at 7 a.m. That's me. I am sorry, neighbors. These noises aren't necessarily voluntary, but they are equally as destructive. And just think to yourself, how many times do you hear these things for extended periods of time in your days? And what's funny is that if you do listen to these sounds a lot, you may think, well, I've gotten so used to it, it probably doesn't hurt me anymore. If it doesn't bother you anymore, that's because your ears have already been damaged. And there's nothing you can really do to fix that. You can prevent it from becoming even more damaged, like we discussed, but that's pretty much it. This is your life now. But even beyond losing the ability to hear, loud sounds also disrupt other cognitive abilities. There was this interesting study taken in 1974 where they were looking at a public school with a unique problem. You see, Public School 98 was built near a train track, so every few minutes a train would rumble by and teachers would either have to stop teaching or speak above the train just so their students could hear them. Now, the study involved doing reading tests on the entire school. The kids on the quiet side of the school, their scores were just fine, but the kids on the noisy part, their reading scores were months behind where they should have been. And you want to know how I know this is true? I, too, find it very difficult to stay focused and to take in new information when there are loud sounds present. For example, and I better not be the only person that does this. Do you ever find yourself driving and then you turn the music down so you can see better? Or like you'll be looking for a parking spot, so you turn the volume down so you can find one. Or like you'll almost get into an accident and then you don't, so you turn the volume down, you kind of just reflect and...
No, but I will one day. Trust me. I'll relate to you one day, bro. I got you. I'll relate to you one day.
drive in silence for a little bit. These are all experiences we've shared before. These aren't original. Please tell me they're not original. And the real kicker with hearing loss is that it's subtle. You don't appreciate it while it's happening. It only hits you 10, 20, 30 years down the line, and by then it is way too late. It's like drugs and alcohol. People realize that those are bad things, but they still do them. Why? Because they're only concerned about the present sensation, and the consequences, well, those are years down the line. We'll deal with that later. Let's just have fun. We're gonna be young forever. You won't. And it's really sad that some people will have to wait until the day that their ears, liver, and lungs expire until they realize that. A good solution is to buy active noise-canceling headphones. Why would that help? Could you give us an in-depth scientific explanation about it? And also, could you put the lab coat back on? Well, if you insist. I mean, let's say there's a bunch of noise around you, and let's represent all that noise as one sound wave. The bigger the wave, the bigger the sound, the more hearing loss. So if we want this outside noise to be quieter, we need this wave to be smaller. How do we make it smaller? What's interesting is that if you play an opposing sound wave in the opposite direction, both waves will cancel out. Therefore, the resultant wave will be smaller. The noise will have been canceled. So that helps with the voluntary sounds, but when it comes to the involuntary sounds in daily life, keep some earplugs on you in case you're in an especially noisy area. And look, I get it. I know that sounds very corny. Do I carry around earplugs everywhere I go just in case? No, I'm not a nerd. But should I be doing that according to every article I read in preparation for this video? It's not a terrible idea. To me, caring about your ear health seems to be like at the same level as wearing sunscreen. It makes you look like a loser, but also you definitely should be doing it because everything in nature is slowly trying to kill you at all times. But fixing like the overarching problem of noise pollution and mass hearing loss, that needs to be like a cultural shift. As we all know, it is entirely possible for a person to understand that something is bad for you, not care, and to continue to do it. Therefore, not only do the people need to be informed, but we also have to make loud noise corny. Like, do you remember all those anti-vaping and anti-nicotine ads they used to play when we were growing up? Vaping can deliver toxic metals like nickel and lead into your lungs. That's metal. In your lungs! Now, we can laugh at these ads all we want, which I did a number of times while writing this script. It's so funny. But ads like this stuck with me as a kid, and it was one of the many reasons I never wanted to smoke. And I think that can be said for a lot of us, because I think in many ways we were the generation that was gonna get rid of smoking. That was until, according to my sources, they made the nicotine mint flavored, and many in my generation, quote, folded like lawn chairs. Yes, that's unfortunate. But if we could do the same thing for noise pollution and like playing music too loudly, that's probably the best bet at changing the culture. An interesting idea that came up more than once while I was reading papers from the National Institute of Health was that in clubs, they should have like ear rest areas or no access areas where the speakers don't play as loudly or don't play at all, so that you get a break from all the loud noise. Now that may sound dumb, but if you market anything the right way, it can catch on. For example, think about this for more than 2 minutes. Bottled water. You pay for bottled water. It's water in a plastic bottle, and you pay to have it. You already pay somebody else to have an endless supply of water in your home, but no, you want to pay a separate person to have the same water in a one-time use bottle. You could reuse the bottle. You're not going to reuse the bottle. You're going to throw it away. You could also buy a reusable bottle and fill it with the water you're already paying for. You don't. You pay a separate person to have different water. It's the same water, but it's different water in a plastic bottle. And it's water. Like, stuff literally falls from the sky, free of charge, all the time. It's not rare, but no, you pay to have it in a bottle. a plastic bottle. You buy it, you use it once, and you keep doing it. You're still paying to have water in your home. And
So,
you go
I think we learned a lot here today. We learned the need to be wise and informed consumers, to think about our futures, and to preserve the gift of hearing for as long as we all can. But most importantly, we learned that Past David can write whatever he wants in these scripts, and I have no choice but to read them verbatim. Please send help. I'm pretty sure he watches me sleep.
That was the end of the video? Oh shit. Man. That was actually the video. That's actually like, I'm not like, no joke. That actually like made me actually think about it. Like, I gotta lower this shit down. Even with these earphones, they're not as loud. And I kind of, because these, if I put these on max, my ears are falling off. I'm not even trolling. Like, my ears are actually gonna fall off. But that was actually a good educational video. Like, Loki, we should actually be taking care of our ears more. Or else, in the long run, I still be doing that. I do that as well. I be like, because I don't be hearing shit. But we gotta look and take care of our ears, man. Love you video.